being a new member of the Kentucky Hall of Fame is it's kind of hard to put in words. Something I never expected, something that's a surprise, but totally honored and humbled by the whole thing. And I'm totally looking forward to getting back to Kentucky and meet some of my friends and sharing this with family.
Pat's deserving to be at a Kentucky Golf Hall of Fame is a multitude of reasons. He checks all the boxes. He was a tremendous amateur golfer, winning his first amateur tournament when he was 13 years old at our home course in Stearns, Kentucky, with a slew of a very good field of adult players. Pat and I were the only junior golfers there. 13 years old, he wins that tournament, then goes on through high school, had a tremendous high school career, and then in college at Kentucky and at Eastern Kentucky University, had a great college career. And then he goes into working with the youth at Eastern Kentucky University at Arlington and at Gibson Bay Golf Course, but coaching the hundreds of players at Eastern. And then all the Kentucky sectional tournaments that he played in and won many. He could have won many, many more. Being a golf coach, you only got a window of a few summer months to play in all these sectional tournaments. Come August, September, he's coaching college golf. In the spring, he's coaching college golf. So he's only got a short window playing in 50-60% of the sectional events. So if he could have played in those 25 or 30 years, he could have won a lot more Player of the Year honors than what he did, but he still won a few.
I didn't see him, necessarily, I guess more so in his prime. He was still playing competitively. But just seeing Coach, it's just funny because he would be at practice with us, obviously, and sometimes we would have an odd number of people, and he would participate in competitions that we had, and so a lot of times he's beating us who are actually practicing every day. So it's just funny that he wasn't playing full time, he was coaching full time, but he could still compete with a lot of the guys on the team and beat us in some competitions. So I mean, obviously great player, won the Southern A&M, and you don't do that by mistake. So bomber of the ball, great ball striker. You don't lose that. I mean, he still had that even at practice when he would hit balls with us. You could tell. I mean, the ball striking is still there. So it's just fun to watch someone like that, and also just the way they handle themselves on the course. You can tell he's so accomplished and he knows what he's doing.
Well, as a coach, one thing that's because I was on his team for 2 years as a player, so I got to experience that side of things. And one thing I will say about him as a coach that puts him above most other coaches is not just because he could still play and he could still compete even with the college players that were on his team at the time, and even still now probably, but is that his ability to teach and see aspects of the game that I would never have seen or known as a high school or college player. His wisdom from experience and his wisdom because of his love for the game and growing in knowledge of the game really put him apart, because you couldn't just dismiss him as, oh, the coach doesn't know any better, or oh, the coach is he's just guessing. He knew what he was talking about, and he would show us. He wouldn't just tell us, he would show us. And it became pretty apparent pretty quick that what Coach said was good advice.
Well, I think ultimately his legacy will be with us, with his children, and with his grandchildren. And there's a lot of great players and a lot of great athletes throughout the years, in all different sports. But I think ultimately that my dad's legacy will live on through his grandchildren, and they'll remember who he was, and because we'll tell them who he was, and because he was a good dad, and he was a superhuman role model for us to try to be like. And my youngest son, he's playing baseball right now. He's 7. He made All-Stars here in Johnson, and he loves to call his pappy and tell him how good he does in the games, and it's because he understands that would make pappy proud, and so ultimately I think it's a great honor for my dad to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and all those things, but ultimately I think his legacy is going to live on through his children and his grandchildren.
My name is Pat Stevens, and I'm a member of the Kentucky Golf Hall of Fame.